It's time.
All right, here we go.
The Cocktail Show.
Get ready to have a good time.
Let's have a good time.
This is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, I like that.
Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Wow.
I've allotted 1 hour for recreational activity. There's no time for irrelevant conversation. Fun will now commence.
Cocktail Show.
Garry.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Garry.
But wait, there's more.
I'm the guy.
Finger gun.
Garry Meier.
3, 2, 1, 0.
It's GarrForce anchor Todd Pickering welcoming you to the Garry Meier Show Cocktail Hour live. Live.
Cocktails. Ooh, drinks.
Are you ready? Everybody, now welcome to the show. It's a crazy delight. Gary's got the wheel, and Leslie's the co-pilot. With Ryan on deck, you'll never look back.
Hey, look! Look at the guy in the goofy mask! That's not a mask. Oh, sorry, lady.
We're streaming live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central.
On Friday, March 14th, 2025. And of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. And maybe just enjoy the antics of some of the first ducklings of springtime. Anyway, thanks for joining us here on
The GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
YouTube. Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
Join the GarrForce. It's insanity.
All of the past editions of the Cocktail Hour can be replayed on the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
Please like and share the show on all the social media channels.
Comments during the live show, wherever we are streaming, can be seen in our virtual studio
And we may show them on the screen.
and or talk about them.
Thank you for your attention.
Now, fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Live!
Live. Here we go.
Are you ready? Everybody, the Garry Meier Show. Crazy fun, zero refunds. Crazy fun, zero refunds.
Boom. Shakalaka.
Thank you, Papa D. That's Dieter Sturm with that intro song. We appreciate that. And he is doing a lot of AI stuff. We played some of his AI country, and the singer is AI. It's a robot. We're screwed. Let's have a good time. Let me kick the tires. Let's do it. Light them up. All right, Leslie, let's remove that cat from your lap.
Oh, this one right here?
Oops, there it is. That's
Bye-bye.
step one.
Bye-bye, honey.
And the Puerto Rican
step
doorbell
two.
has gone off with Todd Pickering, the live. Now you have to remove that condom and make official the GarrForce Cocktail Show.
Got me a Jawbreaker Chardonnay. Isn't that some cool bottle art?
Yeah, wow.
Anyway, here we go, kids.
3, 2, here it goes. Took the
Very
cat's
nice.
eye out almost.
Very nice.
Yeah.
She's got quick
Well,
reflexes.
here we go.
Don't you, baby?
Doesn't it seem like it's Friday every other day now?
Feels like it. Or maybe that's just because we're drinking every other day now.
Well, that might be it too.
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah. It's funny, in the opening, Alan Delinka, the producer, puts my awards in there, which is nice. I didn't tell him to do that. But then he plays that audio bit where I say, turn it into a gin joint. You hear how I say turn it into a gin joint. That's professional.
It happens to all the great voices occasionally.
That's right.
The tongue gets a little lazy from overuse, and then who knows?
It does. It gets overused is what it does, and then doesn't want to do what it's got to do when you want it to do it. That's not what Ryan Seacrest does. His tongue doesn't get lazy.
Oh, we don't know. Probably, when they tape some of those shows, it takes, like 3 hours to do a half-hour show.
That's true. They don't have a screw-ups.
They'll cut out all those screw-ups along the way.
Hey, I had a Zapruder Wheel of Fortune because that's what I do. Do you watch it?
No.
Okay. Here's what's happened since Ryan
I figured
took over.
not till I'm 70.
Okay, I know I mocked it. It's always on in nursing homes. But when you go through crazy times, you look for comfort. So I start the day with my double beaver on MeTV, and then towards the end of the day, I need a little comfort, and you want something mindless because I go from Wheel of Fortune to Jeopardy, and that's a lot of thinking. So I want to get down and calm with a little wheel. Here's what Ryan is doing that Sajak did not do. When they're going to commercial break, Ryan has told them to leave his microphone on for a couple seconds so he can share some of his great ad libs that he has with the contestants. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Making
really
him
noticeable.
a regular guy
Yeah,
who's just
right.
chatting it up with the
Pat
the
didn't
great
do that.
unwashed.
I would imagine that when they went to commercial break, Pat went and sat in a chair and didn't talk to anybody. But that is a guess. Ryan, he's got a personality that he needs to share, and he's told the producers, keep my mic on for that 2 or 3 second moment before we go to the commercial, because I got to ad lib and show the people I'm a real guy. Hello.
Wow. He's so original.
He is. Again, I admit it. I think you're admitting it. It's mostly envy. This guy is making a fortune for doing a lot of minimal talent. God bless him. That's America. It's just that how did he get all those jobs?
Well, and this week I was doing some manual labor and thinking about those people who do work like that every day of their working life. And man, you got to hand it to people who just get her done.
Well, that's a good point. You got a guy watching the news, and it was announced Pat Sajak was retiring, right? So he's watching this, and he worked in the coal mine for 50 years for not good money, black lung, and finally gets to retirement and then dies 6 weeks later because of black lung disease. And he's watching Pat Sajak retire from 49 days a year for $15 million a year.
It's just been exhausting all these years, and he needs some me time now. I wonder what Pat is doing. Like, is he just sitting around in coffee shops hoping
He's
to
doing
get
what he
voted?
did when he was working, sitting around in coffee shops and
and then pretend that he doesn't want people to notice him. Okay,
even if you tape 5-6 shows a day, you start at say 10, you're done by 5 or 6, 7, 8. That's not even a bad day.
So when I did the weakest link, I think it was like 2.5 to 3 hours for 1.5 hour show. So maybe he only does 3 shows in a day.
Okay, whatever it is. What are you retiring from? Now, Leslie told me today that she has planted her beer garden and hopes to have some results by Memorial Day weekend, right?
That's right. It's going to happen. I'm very excited. I did manual labor. I trenched.
You dug a trench.
I dug a deep trench, some 60, 70 feet into my backyard. It was awesome.
Not 70 feet deep.
Deep. No, deep into my yard.
It was
only about 8 inches deep.
Right, 8 inches in depth, but still at about 70 feet, you said?
Yep.
Do we have a picture of that? Do you want to show the trench?
You
sent me a picture. Yeah, we should show that, and it's pretty handsome as a trench. I'll tell you, you really cut those corners tight. And the other thing you found, you found some toy truck.
I did. A little toy tractor was in there, and it has plastic wheels, so it can't be that old, but it's definitely some child's plaything from way back.
Okay, I'll send Ryan. I just sent you the trench.
Yeah, I'll grab it when I get a second here.
Yep. You're on lunch break.
No, I'm gonna get ready.
Union rules. He has to take a lunch break within 10 minutes of the hour.
That's anyway, it felt good to do manual labor. It felt better when I was doing it. I'm a little sore, I have to admit, but it's a good sore. It's like, I accomplished something and I moved my body and I burned some calories, and my Apple Watch gave me kudos for closing all my rings. So that
and
was
you saved
nice.
a ton of money because you got an estimate.
Several $1,000s is what they wouldn't step foot on my property for less than $2,500.
Look at that.
There.
Yeah.
The other one is the just a backup discharge pipe that I hooked up. So I'm digging down and getting the original discharge pipe out of the ground, running it all the way to the back of the yard, a new system back there. But yeah, man, I did it myself for like $150 in materials. Well, and then after I finished trenching all the way to the back, my nephew showed up and did some pretty impressive work himself to help me out. And damn it, we knocked it out. I was
now. You put the dirt back in after, right?
Uh-huh.
Did you grade it? And then what'd you do? Seed it? What are you doing with the
I'm
bare
not seeding
spot?
it yet. We're expecting some rain over the next couple weeks. It's still early March. So I'm going to let everything settle. Then I'll rake it all clean. I'll dethatch the rest of the yard and then put down some new seed and some fertilizer. Yep. A working girl.
What about the
using my
toy,
hands.
Ryan? Do you have the toy that she found?
I'm waiting for it to load here a minute. It's not loading yet.
You couldn't have
Oh,
found a
so
little
cute.
treasure chest or something, huh?
Well, I was hoping, but having been there when this pipe was laid, I knew that there were no treasures along the way, but a little something anyway. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you laid some pipe. That's nice.
Yeah,
All right.
I broke a sweat, had to hang
I'll
my
show
hoodie
that
up
in
in
a
the
little
tree.
bit.
All right, let's go to the comments. What do you say while you're looking
Let's
to
do that.
Let me get
You know
where
what?
I
And
need
I
to be.
can't help but notice Doggy Boy has checked in. And just before the show started, we were concerned about Doggy Boy. If you guys haven't heard, he broke his shoulder and has had some major health issues as a result. That's what breaking your shoulder will do. But anyway, so we haven't talked to him in a while, but it's good to see you here with us today, Doggy Boy.
All right, Doggy. Oh, before I read the comments, I got an email from Keely Ann, and she said, hey, you can leave that up there, Ryan. Hey, I can't post my comment because it says it's not acceptable. So I emailed Ryan and said, what's going on? And then you said what, Ryan?
So there's when you load the show and schedule it in YouTube, there's a button that says, is this show safe for kids? If you say yes, comments go away. So I misread producer Alan's message and thought I was supposed to click yes. I was really supposed to click no. So as soon as I click no, it's not safe for kids, the comments come back.
Yeah, we're definitely not safe for kids. I'll be giving out these
so if you say it's safe for kids, no comments can come in.
Right.
The comments can come in during the live broadcast, but then they're gone 30 minutes after the show's over.
Okay.
So it's not part of their permanent record.
No, so that nobody can comment before we go. Like we can comment here before we go live, but if you have the kids safe on, you can't do that. So
yeah, like these kids aren't looking at some of the most horrendous stuff ever produced by man.
So that's my mistake, Keely-Ann.
They're trying to minimalize it.
Okay, but
should we talk about
what?
Keely-Ann also has come up this week because we've got some new swag. Greg from Decula, Georgia sent some really awesome stuff to add to the prize closet, but a little stipulation or a request rather, and that's that one of these things goes directly to Keely-Ann because Keely-Ann is a good egg. And so Keely-Ann, area patrolled by Schnauzer Security, if you send us your deets, I'll send you this. No strings attached. Just complying with Greg's request. And he also, I mean, there's other stuff, but
we're going to get into that in just a minute. Let's see how there's some cool stuff there he sent you. Keely, so you know my email. You can send me your address. I'll get it to Leslie, and then you'll get that nice little sign. And she has stated, oh, now chat is available. That's what we're referring to before. Ugh, anyway, kiss my schnauzer. It's Irish. Have a windy weekend. Apparently, the section of the country that's called the Midwest is going to get some winds.
We've had some winds here in the last 24 to 48 hours, but it's supposed to get even more exciting. I brought the flag in just because it sounded like the pole might be breaking. So, yeah.
Yeah. And that reminded me of that Family Feud question. What would you bring in from your yard on a real windy day and somebody buzzed in and said, my sail? I keep my sail in the backyard.
Somebody else was talking about how crazy windy it was, and I said, did you get a trampoline out of the deal? And no, they did not get a trampoline because those things love to fly.
Oh, yeah. Martin here every week from British Columbia. Hey, MK. Good to see you. Greg from Coloma, Michigan, here taking care of my sweet old Irish mama.
Oh,
God, can that woman drink? Okay.
Yippee.
Well, Charles from WRLR in Crystal Lake, Illinois, and Gurnee. That's where the radio station is that he works at. Start giving your schnauzer water. It's getting warmer now.
Oh, always hydrate your schnauzer. Hydrate everything, anything and everything.
Brian from our house bands, Oh Yes, and Bon Journeyed. How do you pronounce that? Slante? Oh, GarrForce? Slante?
Yeah.
Wishing a fun and safe Patty's weekend. We're putting the bass down now, Brian. Yeah. By the way, Katie Sheridan in a couple weeks with the Gen Z report, if you'd like to check your calendar. David, I told my wife it's almost St. Pat's Day, but she did not like my idea about dyeing the schnauzer green from Oakland, Illinois.
Yeah, I don't know that green schnauzer is actually all that appealing.
Bradley from Scottsdale, AZ, where it's cloudy and chill is in the air. Well, don't worry, in a week it's going to be 95. Samantha, always here. She's got a mocktail, as always, of orange juice and cranberry juice. Cheers and happy Friday. And Dale, Wheatfield, IN, where I'm wiping off the sweat from my schnauzer. Okay. All right. Mike and Pat, Lake Barrington, Illinois. Love instant summer today. It did flip a switch in a lot of areas from real cold about a week ago to summer.
Insanely comfortable.
Yeah. Northwest Indiana, Kevin.
Sweaty schnauzer, there is nothing going back to manual labor.
Easy. We flipped the switch so kids can watch or not watch or whatever.
Shower is awesome. When you like the salt from your sweat starts draining over your
okay.
Good thing.
That's a TikTok video.
Those of you who've worked up a sweat know what I'm talking about.
I think we do. Luke, 90 mph and wind conditions in Chicago tonight. Got to get O'Hare and streets and sand on the blower, kiddo. Yes. Well, some of you referred to some inside stuff from years ago, and that is a reference to this guy that was on the radio, and he was 700 pounds, not exaggerating, and he was this giant kind of Boy Scout, and he was always consumed with weather and all that Boy Scouting stuff.
Well, he would listen to scanners, police scanners, fire scanners, and then any kind of weather warnings. He had his finger on those pulses, if you will,
and had tried to get his finger on other things that I heard about from some females. He had a weird voice because of the thickness of his body. He sounded like this, and he used kiddo a lot. Hello, kiddo. Hello, kiddo.
You know, I was one of the women that he didn't hit on because apparently he hated me because of my association with you and your former partner. I was damaged goods.
You were. He wouldn't touch you with his not 10-foot pole.
Oh,
he had a ruler, a 3-foot ruler that he used to operate the controls, right?
Right, because he could not reach them.
Right, he couldn't get close enough to the controls, so he had to use a ruler, a yardstick, or whatever. And the folklore was that he was so large that he had to take the front seat of his car out and drive from the back seat. Right. And if he pulled up to your place of employment, if you were a female he was intrigued by, and try to give you a ride home, he would talk to you out the back passenger window. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we're on this Eddie Jag, one of my favorite, he was a paramedic, and one of my favorite stories was
was he an honorary paramedic?
He
or
was
was
what?
he a real paramedic? Was he an honorary paramedic
I don't
or
know.
a real?
I don't know. But the story, it really doesn't matter because it's creepy either way. He was driving to work. He worked the all-night shift, and there was a car accident, and he pulled over and just started working on one of the victims from the car accident, he said. I thought, oh, didn't anybody say, why are you here? None of the official people? He must have flashed some kind of badge. I'm registered as a paramedic. Let me work. Probably on, if there was a woman in the crash, he was probably working on her.
I've got a badge like that from the Chicago Police Department. Yeah, I should start doing that where I just show up at...
and just start working on victims. Yes. Yes, hello. I just started working on her. Imagine if she came to and saw his giant figure over her.
He's got one of these that you just put on.
Oh, look at that. Look at you.
CPD.
Pull over.
Let me. I got it.
Yeah. Let me frisk you.
Hands behind.
See if you have any fentanyl. Huh? I'm going to confiscate your fentanyl right now. Okay.
Makes it official.
One of the other favorite things, now that you got me on this Eddie Jag, there's a whole, this guy was a TV show.
Oh,
and I would listen to him because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was so bizarre. And when a woman would call up, he was so desperate to meet women that he would start talking to them, and then he'd try to narrow down where they lived. I don't know if he was going to stalk them in their neighborhood, but he'd ask them where they would go shopping so he could figure out, well, it's that town. And then if he could get what store on what street, and then he could start working back from that, and then maybe discover where they lived, and then drive.
And then
to
he would
house.
pull into or put himself into the back seat of his car and drive over there and see if he couldn't encounter them. One woman in particular that he took a liking to on staff, he just wasn't clear on the fact that she was a lesbian.
Oops! Oh, of all
no matter how hard
of all the females,
try, he took a liking to. Yeah, it's like it's not going to happen. Is it because of my weight? No, it's not because of your weight. It's because I'm a lesbian, I guess.
But
yes.
Leslie, are you saying if she was hetero, there would have been something?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
One of my other favorite stories. He was intrigued by this woman who worked at the Sun-Times, the Chicago Sun-Times, and he had talked to her on the phone about something or other, and then he called somebody he knew there to see what she looked like because he didn't want to make a move on her unless she was up to his standards. And I'm thinking, standards?
Right.
You're 700 pounds. I would think it would be somebody that's alive, and even then, I'm pulling over, working on people. I don't know if they're alive, but I got to work on them.
Oh, he was quite the character, that one.
Yes. Oh, here's another great one. Now they're just flooding in.
We're going to talk about when they had to replumb the bathrooms.
Well, there was an issue of him using a toilet that was mounted to the wall and not to the floor, and his weight was not conducive to using the wall mount. He did a thing one night where he had, I believe there were Frank Sinatra tickets, and it was the middle of winter, and he said, the first woman who shows up at the studio in a bikini will get the Frank Sinatra tickets.
Yeah.
So oh God, another great Eddie moment. This woman shows up with her boyfriend, and you could tell Eddie was pissed, and he barely talked to her.
That's not what he saw going down.
Yes.
Yeah.
He reluctantly gave her the tickets, but he didn't spend any time with her. Yes, come down in the bikini, you'll get some tickets.
Should we keep going? I've got one more. A classic.
Hey, I don't have to be anywhere right now.
He all of his stuff around on an AV cart, like the kind they would put a projector on in high school and roll from classroom to classroom. Yep. He had all of his supplies on there, reference books, personal care products, all sorts of things like that. And a friend of mine was working with him at the time. She walks into the studio. mind you, a person of that sort of girth there are sometimes digestive issues at play. And she heard what she thought was the sound of something going on. And without saying a word, keeping eye contact with her the entire time, he reached back onto that AV cart, picked up a can of Lysol, and began to spray it low and behind, and then maintain the conversation. And she said, how do you keep it together? And a man is doing that before your very eyes. Oh.
Now, you're being kind about that AV cart. It was a mobile Walgreens unit. It had every pharmaceutical you could imagine because he had so many maladies with his weight.
Yeah.
And I know we sound cruel.
We're not.
I know does this sound mean?
This can make us seem really.
Well, listen. We already put the switch on.
He was also a mean man.
Kids.
I mean,
Leslie, kids can't listen. We put the switch on. It's not for kids.
Right,
all right.
Because see, we talk.
That's right. We do unfriendly kid stuff. But all this stuff is true. We're not making this up. And the other thing is, he was actually pretty vindictive. We had a good hunch.
When I heard how much he hated me, somebody recorded audio of him hating me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anybody who hates me that badly, especially somebody who I'm not really associated with. But damn, man.
We speculated that he sent tapes to the FCC from our show, and that's how we got in that FCC witch hunt. And all it took, that thing about the FCC in those days, it wasn't where they were monitoring radio stations around the country. They would react from somebody one person sending them a tape.
Right.
And then they'd investigate.
Well, and management was that quick on the trigger too. You could have 1 million really happy listeners. One person sends a letter to the management that they took offense at something that you said in jest, and now you had to issue multiple apologies and promise to change your ways. And gosh, it was just maybe it wasn't Leave It to Beavery. It was those were.
Well, if you don't like it, don't listen.
Right.
You got a choice.
Oh.
And we got into that not just with the FCC, but to your point, one person that was the head of an organization. We said something about. I know one time we said that the Catholic Church was going to issue flavored communion wafers. So you had maple, just a funny throw-off thing. And the head of the Catholic whatever got into our boss's grill.
Archdiocese.
Yeah.
That would be the Archbishop.
Yeah, we got called in on that. And then it made it into the Catholic newspaper that goes around the country. And my mother-in-law saw it hundreds of miles from where we were broadcast. So she called her daughter, is this the kind of person you're married to?
Exactly.
Makes fun of the Eucharist?
Oh,
yeah.
Boy.
No,
well. You were just talking about unconsecrated hosts, right? Please say.
I know it's Lent. Okay. Okay, how about this? I had a fish sandwich today.
Did you now?
Yes, because my mother-in-law, she likes to keep with that tradition. And so my wife and sister-in-law, we had fish sandwiches in that honor. But I brought this up during the meal. Okay, tell me this. Why can't I have chicken during Lent on Friday? Because you've got seafood. If you go to the grocery store, it's marked seafood, meat, poultry. Poultry is a separate category. Why can't I have chicken?
It's more about denying yourself something.
But why fish? Why not have a rule? No, whatever. No fish, meat, poultry. Why fish?
Maybe a reminder that Jesus was a fisher of men.
It doesn't make any sense. And
this is why we don't do politics, nor should we do religion.
But it's weird when they used to have it every Friday for a long time, and now it's just during Lent. So it's kind of pregnant kind of stuff.
I got some salmon that I'm throwing into the air fryer as soon as the show is over. Once again, Doggy Boy, Thank you for the air fryer. I love that.
Yeah, you're
appliance.
really cranking that thing.
Oh my gosh. You know, it is honestly the best appliance since the microwave.
Wow.
Okay, and which came first, the automatic coffee maker or the microwave? There are only a few appliances
I'm
you
gonna
really
say,
need,
yeah, I don't know.
and I'm not gonna go out and buy a panini maker. I never bought a pasta maker. I don't need a lot of that stuff, but damn, man, the air fryer is a sweet little invention.
Leslie, where do you go shopping for the ingredients for your air fryer?
I'm usually at about 3 o'clock. You'll find me at the Aldi. No, I don't.
Now, if Eddie were alive and watching this, and then you told that story about the shower, you'd be getting a little visit.
Probably
He
not,
would've
because I'm
that
still
would've broken the
associating
ice.
with you.
No,
Nah,
that
I'm
would've
still
no.
associating with you, and that's what made me untouchable.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes.
The one woman that he could have had a chance with, lesbian. Ah, so close.
He really
Yeah.
set his sights on her. Oh well.
Let's go. We were halfway in and we just went off on that jag.
Yep, give me a second. I'll find our
All
slide
right,
in
Ryan,
here.
did you enjoy our little Eddie hunk?
I did.
What did you know about him, if anything?
Nothing other than what I've learned from
Yeah.
hanging around you.
Okay, because as I have stated, when they were bringing Ryan home from the hospital, I was working all nights at a radio station when he was born. In the back.
Thanks for stopping by The Loop, FM 98, WLUP Chicago.
Doing the all-night show at that radio station, and there's Ryan in the back in the car seat. And his parents might be listening to me and never thinking in 30 years, this man, 30, 40 years, this man's going to be working for this guy. How does that happen? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, he didn't.
That's why his parents don't talk to him anymore, but that's beside the point.
Okay, let me ask you, Ryan, now that we're in a little jag of jags, when did you start knowing who the hell I was at all?
When you were on GN.
WGN. So that I started there in 2009.
Yeah, so it would have been around that time.
And you could hear it in Waukesha.
I could. And then when you moved over to the stream, it was even easier because then you could just
flip
it on.
Because that little story where I'm doing really well on the radio station and they decided to screw that up.
And then you're gone.
Then they moved me to the stream, which was great because that was starting to percolate.
Oh.
And I thought, great.
Yep.
So I'm having a blast now because there are no rules
Mm-hmm.
and we could talk and we talked and talked. And then
we
went,
were beating international soccer
Yeah.
on that show.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, like as soon as that show would start, it was you could follow the listenership, and we were just knocking the
Yeah.
heck out of this. And well, so they got wind of that, and then
Oh,
they had to take.
And didn't we tell you were too popular on the radio and now on the stream? We don't want that. We don't want
yeah.
success here. Do you understand?
Maybe Eddie got to them.
Yes.
Those people are polluting.
Was he
You
alive?
know?
How long has he been dead? I don't know. He may have called the station. Yes. You know what he said?
And I'm probably like, just by talking about him, this
Were
is
you
gonna
a
open up
WGN
some
listener
sort of
before
weird
that?
vortex.
I was. Yeah, I was.
Because you're only in your 30s at that point.
And I did a lot of work in the middle of the night with my other job, so I always had Steve and Johnny on, and and that kind of stuff. So yes, I was familiar with the.
Okay, and that signal beams hard into Wisconsin.
And my dad had a dry cleaners, and he always had Bob Collins on and Roy Leonard and all of those. So
the whole crew.
Yeah, when I was younger, it was always on the radio.
Yeah, well, that's usually how it happened, where your parents were listening, and you
Mhm.
just got sucked into the radio wave because you're in the back seat, and they wouldn't change the station.
Right. Or I was working at the dry cleaners like you were.
Yeah,
Early on, working at a dry cleaner.
there it is, vortex.
Mhm.
Now, when I got there, I knew we had made fun of this station for years, and I thought, okay, well, I'm here now, so let's work from within. I didn't make fun of it. I just worked with what I had, and it started to they needed a younger audience at that point because their audience was dying. And they thought,
literally.
Well, literally, not figuratively, literally. They were
literally.
I was going to do, we're going to do the Gene Hackman promotion. And if you think you're still alive, give us a call.
Yeah.
So, do you know when it was that you started at WGN? Like what month?
Yes, March.
Because I've seen the video. I've seen they recorded your video of when you started.
He died when?
February of 2009. So I was thinking maybe you getting on the air was what killed him. But
wait, Leslie, they made the announcement, and he thought he's never coming back to the radio. They made the announcement in February because I had an audition with several other people. Jerry Springer was up for it.
That's right.
Yes.
They did bring in some. Yes.
Oh, yes. Jerry Springer. They had us all do a week.
It was kind of like when Alex Trebek was dying, or died, and they had to do the cavalcade of replacements. Yes.
And
Lordy, I forgot about that.
That happened. So that happened in February. So that might have given Eddie the grabber.
There you go.
Is that what he died of? A heart attack?
I don't know.
62. He had lots of things.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Oh my God. The radio station for years was just tailored to all of the fears of Chicagoans. It was, and that was easy pickings when we were up against them because there was so much material to make fun of it. Because I listened to this station off and on as a kid and thought, even then, before I got into radio, the morning guy who had an audience that you'll never see in a zillion years anymore. He had 25% of the entire morning audience, which today, if you get 3% or 4%, that's huge. He had 25%. And he'd do stuff where people, hey, Wally, I'm going to drive to O'Hare from the South Side. Will there be any colored people on the expressway when I drive there? It was that kind of tone where everybody was afraid in Chicago because everybody was in their own neighborhoods.
Wow.
So you didn't venture out into another neighborhood, and they just played on those fears. Oh God, Wally.
And then he would hand out prizes akin to what people would win on Bozo Circus. So it would be like some new mode hosiery.
Right.
Here's some hosiery for you.
Hosiery and doorbells and wrist, some kind of wristwatch.
Now that I mentioned Bozo Circus.
It was insane.
How soon before you were done there did they take your office away and make it the snack kitchen or whatever?
Okay. Yeah, that was another moment where they walk in one day. You're moving to an office downstairs. I go, well, I like this office. No, we're going to make this into a lounge. Now, this was interesting in that they were going to have liquor in this lounge, in that the general manager was a reformed alcoholic. So I thought that was odd that they were going for that. And then they put
a barrel bar.
Yeah, it was a big barrel. It was ugly as hell. They did not do a good job on that. And that's what they turned it into. Yeah.
By the way,
Bozo?
Speaking of Bozo Circus, for anybody with Chicago roots, and many of you have that, there's stickers so you can create your own Bozo
own buckets.
Did you find that in the trench in the
you
backyard?
buy the buckets?
Leslie, did you find that in the trench?
I believe this came from Scott's Vintage Antiques and Collectibles.
I was going to guess that.
Oh, there you go.
No.
We'll throw that in.
Better get a bucket. I'm going to throw up, right? So there was that. Did I answer your question, Ryan?
Yes.
Yes,
you did.
It was crazy times in Chicago back in the 70s and 80s, mostly in the 70s when that was the dominant radio, and it was just bizarre. I mean, and the mayor at the time, he didn't like anything that was frenetic to him, which was movies being made in Chicago. No. We don't want that Hollywood element. Yeah, Old Man Daly. He wouldn't let any movies be made. It was just locked down. Yeah. Okay. Hi. How you doing?
He wanted to, because he probably couldn't control it. He was afraid of like some Hollywood mobsters coming in into his territory.
Outside agitators that come in there, and we're going to go down to the river and fish. And you could go with a cold bottle of beer at noontime and you fish in the river. And that river, I mean, really, it's fecal brown most of the time.
Well, it'll be green soon.
It'll be chemical green this weekend. Chemical green.
Like it's chemical toilet.
Yes. Nice. All right. That Bozo show out of Chicago.
We'll have to get photographer Barry Butler on the show pretty soon because he's usually on that boat that's turning the river green. So I bet you he's got some stories to tell.
I've been on that boat. I did that one year.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You did, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. Yeah. And
they wouldn't tell you what it was that it's one of the best.
It's a secret. It's
whatever it is.
It's like their secret sauce. They can't tell. Otherwise, other cities will copy it and dye their waterways chemical green, and you wouldn't want that.
Oh no, we want to be the only ones.
Oh, Ryan, you spark some memories when you do the grasshopper. I have to tell you because you were listening, and I don't know what you were thinking when you first listened. Is that how Chicago is, where it's just scary? Everything's scary.
Well, we were in Oregon, which at that time was only under 2,000 people. So, we were in small town Illinois. So Chicago, it was like,
ooh. Oregon is where that's where you grew up, right?
Yeah. And we didn't have one stoplight. We didn't have any fast food. I mean, it was a different world, and we're listening to stuff out of Chicago. Best we could do is go to Rockford, and you got to be careful when you go to Rockford too.
Oh God! And then they would call Wally to ask for directions to the airports because they didn't know how to get to the airport. If you don't know how to get to the airport, maybe you shouldn't be flying.
Wow! You get the atlas out and you draw your fingers, and they come together, and you figure out where you're at.
Yes,
you do. I use those. Come on.
Oh God, Wally! I don't know. Oh God, Wally. I saw a colored person. What should I call the police? Oh God, yes, you should.
And speaking of Lent, I remember last weid I said, Hank, did I say last week Hank gave up chocolate milk, right? So I had to give away all the chocolate milk we had. Well, Jamie didn't stop the order of chocolate milk, so I went out the door on Tuesday and I had 4 more that we couldn't drink. So I've been giving chocolate milk away to anybody.
Has she stopped the order now?
She has stopped the order now.
Oh, okay.
So he misses it. Every day he said, I wish I could have the chocolate milk, but I can't. Got to punish myself.
Is he doing that? What's that called? The burn down? What's that withdrawal from technology?
Crash out. No, he hasn't crashed out yet on the chocolate milk, but because he drank 4 quarts of the Oberweis a week, and he's
wow.
out of commission. So yeah, poor kid.
That's another thing. Giving up something. I know it's good discipline, but geez, I don't get any of it anymore.
Don't you still intermittently fast?
I fast every Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much the same thing.
I guess.
Training yourself not to overconsume.
Garry, what were you going to say about the Bozo show? That whole set, if you ever saw that show, I think they spent all of $16. That's including the buckets, the costumes for the clowns,
and the makeup.
Backdrop, the makeup, out the door, $16.
Oh, all of that could have been gotten at Goodwill.
Yeah.
Sandy the Tramp's outfit really was. I mean,
and I'd have to ask
actually
Jamie,
had to dirty it up.
She might have went there. She might have got tickets and actually went to the Bozo show. I don't remember. I remember her saying something about it, but I think she actually might have went. She didn't get to play the game, but I think she went.
Well, that was a thing to try to get tickets because they only had seats for about 75 people. So there was an 18-year waiting list, and people would talk about Bozo tickets.
Jamie, she's yelled downstairs, Bozo show? Yeah, I was on the Bozo show.
She didn't play the game, though, right?
Me.
She didn't play the game, no.
Yeah, they would give away. You had to make that 6 bucket to get any prize worth having. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, the first bucket was a quarter.
Bicycle.
Yeah. First bucket, quarter. Second bucket, giant Tootsie Roll. Mm-hmm. Third bucket, silly putty, which is nice.
And a bun candy.
A bun candy bar, yeah.
which I think had raisins in it. It was the most unappealing candy that a child could get in those days.
Was that like
so
AIDS?
We're giving it to you.
Was that like the AIDS chocolate?
The diet.
Here's a box of AIDS, kid, for making bucket number 4.
It'll make your mom thin enough she can fit in these new mode hosiery we are handing out.
And if they didn't have a winner, they would put a silver dollar in bucket number 6 every time, right? And then the final jackpot or whatever was when somebody got to bucket number 6.
A Schwinn bicycle and $61. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So yeah, it's been a week between that and some car issues.
So here we go with Ryan and his car. He buys this car. He has it for 2 days, and he texts me, "I'm taking the car back. It's extremely uncomfortable." What was it? What wooden seats? What was the problem?
It was almost like flying Spirit Airlines or one of those. Oh, it was terrible. I bought the car without test driving it. I thought it was a RAV4. I thought we were fine. Bought the car, and someone said, "Well, when did you realize it was uncomfortable?" Lake Forest Oasis, from Schaumburg to the Lake Forest Oasis. I went, "Ooh."
How many miles is that for people who don't know?
What,
25, 30?
And what was uncomfortable about it? I mean,
there was no lumbar support, and then your arm was way up on the one side. If you put it on rested it on by the window, it just wasn't. So I texted the salesman Sunday and I said, "I'm done. I got to bring it back and get something else." So,
and he said,
"Bring it in. We'll work with you." But he actually got 2 credits for car sales because they just wouldn't take it back. So I bought a car on whatever, it's Thursday or whatever, and then bought another one on Monday.
And you lost money.
I probably did. I ended up going new because they said, "Oh, if you go new, we can hide the things a little better in the new cars." I said, "Okay." So, yeah, as much driving as I do, I couldn't deal with it.
The way you were sounding there reminds me of that scene in Fargo, if you've seen the movie, where what's her name goes to talk to Bill Macy.
Marty
goes to talk to Macy, who's the general manager at his father-in-law's dealership, and she's trying to figure out this car that was used in the kidnapping of his wife. And so, do you have any cars that have gone missing? And he's sitting there because he knows he's part of the whole scheme,
right?
And he doesn't want to cooperate. "I'm trying to help you here." And that the way you said that, the guy at the dealer, "I'm trying to help you here."
Yeah, I can hide it in here. We'll get it. And then he tells me, "Well, I had some man bring back 4 cars." And I went, "Oh, I mean, I don't know if he was trying to tell me that make me feel better. I didn't need to feel better. I just needed a damn car that was comfortable."
Would you like some undercoating? We'll throw that in for 125.
Well,
isn't that what's happening now?
There's some coating that needs to be done on it. So what did I do yesterday? Drove back to Schaumburg, dropped the car off, took their loaner, drove back to Wisconsin, and then Monday I've got to drive back to Schaumburg. So
now you have this thing you like to do where it coats the outside.
Yeah, it's the ceramic coating on it. So yeah.
Would you like the ceramic coating for $200? We'll just throw that in for you.
If I knew you, I can hide it. I can hide it a little better.
That's what they do. I can hide it for you. Now I'm trying to help you here. I'm trying to cooperate. Boy, your car sagas in the last year.
So everything's been weird this week, and then I switched some roles at my other job, and it's just been I'm wanting normal back because my crazy normal is good.
Wait, what is your normal?
Yeah, really. Where you only drive 400 miles in a day? Is that a normal day?
Yeah, I want my normal back, and I haven't had it for a couple of weeks, so I'm all out of whack, and I can't take up the cocaine or the marijuana or the drinking. So
yeah, you don't do that. You don't drink. You don't have any side habits. And then the whole week is starting to collapse on him, and he opens the door, and there are 4 more bottles of chocolate milk.
I opened it and I went, "Son of a gun!" And I called her and I said,
God damn it! I told you to stop the chocolate milk."
So I called my neighbor. "Hey, do you want another bottle?" And a couple coworkers. "Hey, your kids like chocolate milk. I'll totally use some chocolate milk. Just give me the glasses back when you're done." Jesus.
Yeah, he's driving around the neighborhood with chocolate milk in his trunk. "Hey, come here. I got something for you."
Oh, this guy is taking the lost puppy thing up a degree now.
Yeah.
Hey, you want some chocolate milk?
Yeah. I got candy. I'm a lovable guy. Won't you hop inside my car? I got chocolate milk.
Well, and
Wow.
this car is not going to be the car I'll be driving next week. This is the perfect time for
Yes,
your
that's
nefarious
correct.
deeds.
So what did you end up with?
I ended up with a Camry. I ended up buying a Camry.
Brand new.
Brand new. So,
But that's
it
not
gets
what
better.
you're driving this week.
No, now I
'cause
have a
the Camry's
RAV4
getting-
that they gave me, and it's brand new too. So it's just
And the reason you had to get a car is because
the Prius. I had a Prius that had 225,000, and the head gasket blew on it. So I was.
And they took that as a trade.
No, I sold it.
How do you sell a car with a blown head gasket?
You say this is where the conditions end. What do you want to take? What do you want to get for it? And you sell it.
How did you sell it? Through what means?
One of the cars places that buy cars, and they said they're just going to auction it. They just take it and wholesale it because it's got way too many miles on it. So
yeah, we buy any car. One of that.
They'll just take it and
Does
take
it
it and
rhyme
dump
with
it.
Darmax or Barvana?
Yes, it does. It absolutely does.
One of those. Yeah, something like that.
So,
okay, here's what I want to do for the phrase that pays. Hashtag chocolate milk.
Okay.
Hashtag.
hang on. Let me get it.
Put that
programmed
in
here,
the
Matt.
queue if you want to win whatever Leslie's giving away.
No
Now,
spacing. Chocolate
Leslie,
milk.
you're not giving this away this week, but maybe in the future.
Yeah.
We got something from a list. You got to show the dragon. That is so cool.
Okay, so Greg sent us some really cool swag. This on the tails of what Stick Save has sent us, and then I mean everything super cool with
Tracy
from Wisconsin, Scott from Scott's Vintage Antiques.
Did I
and
spell that?
Collectibles and-
Did I spell that right?
chocolate milk. Yes.
Yes.
One word, all one word. Put that in
all
the queue.
together. Well,
Maybe I'll
so
give you a
then
bottle
Greg
of Overweiss
decides,
milk.
What?
Greg decides to get all generous with us and sends me some incredible swag. And thank you for putting it in the comments today, because I thought, oh shoot, I'm gonna just commandeer it for a while. I'm not gonna keep it forever, but I just kind of want it for a while. Check out this cool dragon lamp. And if you'll notice, the dragon kind of moves a little bit. Well, I could poke his face in there a little tighter, but look at the fire ebbs and
Nice.
it changes intensity. It's so cool.
Well, that's down the
Isn't that
road
just-
right now. It's right next to Angry Mama and your
Oh yeah.
duck laying the egg
I
lamb.
actually made Angry Mama go on the bookshelf, and she's more pissed off than ever. So, yeah, okay, fine, honey. That's okay. But let's see what else Greg sent. Oh, I'm sending. Oh, okay. So caveat: I'm giving you this cool metal radioactive sign. Isn't that fun? You can put that on your neighbor's car or something. He did have a request though, and that is if you could just take this one item and put it aside for Keely-Ann, and that is that one. So
Okay.
Keely-Ann,
Yes. If you want it, please send your address to me via
Right.
email.
so the other things, of course, we always do, not of course, but we do Oh Yes Swag. Our favorite house band has given us t-shirts, and we're still giving those out. Whoop, whoop. Ooh, now that the weather's getting warmer, maybe next week I'll be able to give away something for warm weather that Oh Yes has sent me that I've been sitting on for a while.
The
Not
thong?
literally.
The
What?
thong? The thong?
Oh, dude, you spoiled. I thought you said the bong. No, it's a thong. I'll be giving away the Oh Yes
Well, you can give a
thong next-
bong away too.
She's keeping the bong.
Yeah, well, only for a while. I'll just use it, I'll
Yes.
scrub it out, and then I'll send
Right.
it out. But anyway, some Oh Yes bracelets, stickers, and a guitar pick. Scott's Vintage Antiques. I've got some dice and fortune-telling fish. I love those fortune-telling fish. As I've been showing you throughout the show, you've got these cool little cards you can give out, where you just X what is appropriate for you at the time. So you can say,
You
what
fill
the
out
fuck this, fuck that,
Yeah.
fuck you, fuck everything.
whatever you got to do.
Exactly. Or fill in the blank.
This kid's not.
Had
This
for a
show's not for
while.
kids.
Time flies. It's just a little stone thing. I think I might have gotten this from Blaze. So I'm going to give that away. Also from Greg, we've got like this cool little soccer fidget spinner. Hold on, come here. Work for me. Work with me.
There it is. There it goes.
There we go. So.
Mike says, how about a yardstick and a can of Lysol?
We could do that too.
Yes, you're vicious.
No.
That's another word he said.
Liquid, perishable, or possibly. Yeah,
vicious.
I don't think I could. Yes, and
you're vicious, Leslie, because you work with those a-holes. You're vicious.
He hated exactly. He so hated me. Oh, Tracy from Wisconsin, of course. We've got bendables. We've got ball liquors. We have the Bozo bucket thing. Super Ball. That's from Greg.
Wow.
And Stick Save Looney Tune Band-Aids. There. I think that's everything. Oh, except wait.
What?
There's more.
The magnet. You found the magnets. Good.
Finally, the prize that started
and
it all.
The condom.
Your very own wine
all
condom.
Right. Hashtag chocolate milk, all one word. Put it in there, and then Ryan will hit the button. We're up against the top of the hour. What do you want to do? It's your choice.
Do you want me to give you a story?
Give me a story. Pick one, and we'll save the others.
A story. How about this one? Wait, what were we talking about earlier that I
you not being able to get into Eddie's beautiful circle?
No, not that. Something I don't know. Well, let's go with this. Don't mess with the flight attendants at Alaska Airlines. A now viral video shows the walloping meted out by an Alaska Airlines employee on a flyer who decided to attack a fellow passenger. The brief video picks up as the male crew member on the flight from Oakland to Portland, Oregon, begins pummeling this gray-haired man who for some reason decided to grab the hair of the woman seated in front of him and not let go. The flight attendant was forced to get physical when the man refused orders to release the woman. The heaping helping of whoop ass involved punching the man multiple times in the head, the throat, and torso until he finally released his grip, but then began screaming like a banshee. All this before the plane ever left the ground. That did make it easier, of course, to return to the gate where police were waiting. The man has subsequently been banned from ever traveling with Alaska Airlines again.
Yeah, but he can go on another carrier.
And grab someone's hair for no good reason on that flight. Yeah.
Didn't even leave the ground. It's all happening as they're taxiing now.
They had just pulled away from the gate, and
did they ask why he did this? And it doesn't matter. It's stupid.
I guess they couldn't get a great answer through all the screaming that was going on.
Okay. All right. Well, this is why we drink.
Do we want to do Team Hochberg quick?
Oh, yes. The fine sponsor here is David Hochberg. He will give you good advice with a free consultation about a mortgage or refi, any of that. The rates are the lowest they've been in 5 months. So maybe it's time. If you were waiting, at least talk to David and his team to see what's what with the free consultation. Those are the numbers. Hey, we had some pictures too. We
do.
What the heck?
We do. We got all this Eddie talk and we lost it.
Okay, let's show some pictures. Okay, my friend, listener Joe Pro got gas for $259.9.
Yeah.
Where have any of you seen
that? That's a two.
That's a two in that first section. Yeah, in that first slot. I believe that might be a Costco deal or what. Now, Ryan, you're always finding cheap gas. What do you pay?
I'm opening Gas Buddy right now, and hey, most carriers up here are $259. I can go up to Speedway, Meier, and Hometown BP, and I can get it for $259.
Jeez.
$3.19 around here, and I think it went up to $3.29 at most of the local gas.
Yeah, I think it's been at least in the threes in most places.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, here's a funny picture sent to me by a listener. This is a family courtroom pull out. You see the disconnect there?
Yeah.
Well, if only they had.
Yep.
Yeah, they wouldn't be going to court. And then somebody screwing. You shouldn't put the signs this low with that kind of lettering. The sham cock shake. That's just wrong.
By the way, it's sláinte, and you got to kind of slur it, and you got to have an Irish accent too.
What is it?
Somebody sent me a pronouncer, and I think it's like sláinte.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
What else? Okay.
This is from Leslie.
We've been talking about this. This is now an official phobia when you're going to a car wash and you're heading towards those rails and you're not sure if your tires are set right into the rails. That's right, Flynn. Flynn knows.
Oh, golly. It is a ridiculous
it's a phobia, but it happens to a lot of us. Yep.
It happened the other day, and the more I thought about it, the more wonky everything started to seem. So I did that thing where it's like I just threw up my hands.
Let God take the wheel. Let Jesus put it in the rails.
Take the wheel.
That's a country song. Top of the hour, news, traffic, weather, sports, back in 15. That is not a lupa. That is a growth in the tile.
That is too much moisture and
it's a dirty bathroom.
Well, you think? That's a growth.
Yep.
How does it get that big?
How does it get there at all?
Many questions.
Okay.
And
we talked about Ron Jeremy recently, so there you go.
You won't believe the things your kids will learn with a computer, and that's Ron Jeremy on the screen. I wanted to put this on my Facebook post, but the way things go, that could be yanked and they'll start threatening. So I thought we'll leave it for the Friday show.
He was adorable.
Okay.
Gary almost shared a snorkel with him.
Snorkel.
So,
what's this? I don't know this.
I know. Covering up with body odor. This is underwear that you can get that has layers, I would say, like activated charcoal. So if you're stinky and you pass gas and stuff, it doesn't come through.
Say goodbye to stinky situations.
Eddie should have had in lieu of having to
spray
Lysol down and low.
So you can use Lumi and you can cover it with undergarments.
You're living at a great time. You really are.
Aren't we?
And I think
we
I
could
have
be
one
odor
more.
free, and yet people every day I encounter who smell really bad.
Well, that's nice. That's a good way to end the week. It's Pi Day. Here it is, 3/14, and the weekend of St. Patrick's Day. I know you'll be hitting the bars all weekend, right, Leslie?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm just still geeking over the fact that the folks at Advantage Appliance Services fixed my God diggity. I haven't even had that much.
Your tongue.
They fixed my washer, not my tongue. But if you're in the western suburbs of Chicago and you ever get a chance, these people are awesome. Family-owned business. So
gotta support them.
They did not pay me for that endorsement. That was
no, you paid for your service, and they did a great job.
That's
all right, let's hit the button, Ryan.
Hang on, let me get some music going.
Who? It is Sachi Gal. And Sachi's
Shy Gal.
Sachi Gal.
Shy Gal.
Email me, Garry Meier Show at GarryMeier.com. I'll get your address to Leslie and she'll mail it out.
And girl, you are in for a treat. There's so much to love.
You're setting the Bozo stickers?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were just. Oh, okay, great.
Oh no, I'm not going to tease. Except for that dragon lamp, I'm keeping that for a while. I will eventually give it out, though. I promise. When the time is right, we'll know.
All right, here comes the cannoli down the aisle. It's delicious and complimentary. Please take it. How do we handle the schnauzer this weekend?
As I mentioned earlier in the show, I don't think it's a good idea to dye the schnauzer green. I mean, if you want to have some green beer, that's on you, but I don't recommend that either.
Yes. I'd like to see it any color. Okay. And now it's 3 in the green. Flaps are down. Wheels are down. The voice of the globe will talk to. Oh, Monday, I'll have an interview about fantasy sports. If you are playing fantasy sports or heard about it, I think we all have. I'll talk to a guy who's written the Bible on it on Monday's show. 3 in the green, gears down, flaps are down. Voice of the globe, America's podcast, the GarrForce has landed.
And that's all the news and nonsense for this week, GarrForce. Thank you for streaming.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce.
Please be sure to like and share the show on all of your social networks.
More eyeballs.
If you're not already a subscriber, show your support by subscribing to GarrForce Live YouTube channel. For those watching a replay, that button is right here. All the rest of our episodes, right here.
Boom.
Hello?
Shakalaka.
Did you click something?